Hi, so in this video, I'm going to be making another Big Bro Little Bro matching shirt, a Star Wars inspired one. If you haven't seen my last video, you should check that one out. I made Mickey ears with the Star Wars, I guess, images. This one is very simple and easy to make. So I was looking all over for the lightsaber image that I wanted, and I could not find one that I liked. So I ended up buying this one off of Etsy for like $2 something. And I think it was worth it because this is like the main focus of the shirt. So I really wanted it to stand out and look the way I wanted it to. So I just uploaded it and added to canvas. And the way I aligned it was matched up the bottom of the base into that kind of like crosshair of 1 and 11. And then you're just gonna copy it, flip it, and match that one up to another kind of cross on the same line. And this is where you can kind of play around with how much you want it to cross or how little. So the ones that I already did in the sample, they're pretty even. And this one I'll make kind of closer together. So there's a bigger V at the top, and we'll see how that looks. So once they're aligned, then you can see that the middle of the lightsabers, where the lightsabers hit, also like is even. That's how you can kind of tell that it's aligned. And for the text, I'm just gonna type in Little Bro and using the Star Jedi font that I downloaded, and I'll link down below. I already know that the line spacing needs to be -20 and more. For some reason, it's very far apart, and I want it centered. So let's change it to black so it cuts out all together. And so simple, we're just gonna align it to the middle. So the first time I did this, I forgot to weld the lightsabers, and it made a little cut over there. It's okay. Like only I would notice, I think. But to not have that, you select both and you weld it. But once you weld, you cannot move it around. Like you can go back, but once you do some other things, you cannot unweld it. So just be sure of how you want it to look before you do that. And then we're simply gonna cut and paste it, and then unattach and change little to big. And then we're going to select both and attach. Super simple. So the bigger one I'm making 9 inches wide, and the smaller one I'm making 8 inches wide. I actually kind of like this new one better with it crossed more on the bottom. So when you're cutting it out, don't forget to mirror. I always do that first before I forget. And the setting I use is under iron on and holographic sparkle iron on. That just works for my machine. And then we're gonna cut it out. Okay, so I have my Big Bro and Little Bro designs all cut and weeded. This one was such an easy, simple one. I love it. And this is the HTVRONT Rainbow Flash Reflective HTV. And today I'm not using the usual shirts that I use. I'm using Cat and Jack from Target. And this is also a 60/40 cotton poly blend. Size small for 6 to 7 and medium for 8 to 10. So I already pressed them flat. So now I'm just gonna create the seam in the middle. I have my easy press too at 285 for 15 seconds as what it says on the box, and it says to preheat for 2 to 3 seconds. I think I'm gonna count this crease making as the preheat so I don't have to redo it. So I'm lining up the crease with the eye and the center of the lightsabers. It's about 3 feet from the neckline, or 3 fingers from the neckline. And because the lettering is large, I really want to kind of take the time to make sure that it's even. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 or 3 steps. I'm just gonna redo it again because I just did my last shirts with the silver HTV and I have to press twice, so I might as well just do it all together. I'm just gonna let this cool on the side. So I'm gonna do the middle crease for this shirt, the smaller shirt. So again, lining up the eye with the crease and the middle of the lightsabers. I don't know if you can tell, but I did that mistake where it didn't weld on this one. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks like it's crossing, but yeah, I kind of wish I welded it. So I think this will fit all under the press. I'm gonna do it one more time, just like the other shirt. Okay, so check all the ends, all the corners. I usually use my nails to see if I can peel any up. See, I caught this one edge. I think the easy press was just like not quite wide enough for just this one. So I'm gonna do both of these just to reinforce it. This looks okay. Actually, this HTV is really nice and it has some stretch to it. So it works well with these shirts. Okay, so I'm just gonna get my parchment paper. Do not put the carrier sheet back on after you remove it. If you put it on and you heat pressed it, these lines would be all imprinted in the vinyl. I did that once and it was so sad. So yeah, anytime you remove this, use the parchment or Teflon sheet. Unless it has no cuts on it, then it's fine. Like if you use this corner or this area, it would be fine, but kind of hard to do with the big press. So let's just use the parchment. I'm just gonna do some here and then over there. Okay, saw some lifting on this B right here, so we're gonna have to repress. So right here for sure, just a little bit on the R. I feel like that needs to be reinforced. Still feel like that R is gonna lift off a little, so I'm gonna redo it again. I'm only gonna focus right here. I do feel like it's a little bit more textured because I use the parchment paper, but I don't think it will matter for the flash reflectiveness. Like this one's a little more smooth. I mean, just barely. I'm really nitpicking, I guess. So there's the shirts, and as usual I'll insert a photo with the flash at the end. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and if you like this kind of video, like and subscribe.
Kinda something like that Shakespeare would have wrote it, yeah.